let me quickly take our viewers through these very visuals that's come in from different parts of Iran, specifically from Tehran at this point of time. This is the Tehran Bazaar, the Grand Tehran Bazaar at this given point of time that we bring to your screens, viewers, and the protests that's been escalating here. Take a look at what the situation is like. Geeta, at this point of time, Geeta, following up what you just spoke about in terms of the wider geopolitical context here, and correct me if I'm wrong, the current situation is such, and as you said, there are different countries that are going through turmoil. We've looked at Venezuela, we're now looking at Iran. There's a slow move from Washington, if one might look at the pattern, where we see China's allies and influence being looked at, given close importance to, and probably even weakened with the strategies that's being played out by America at this given point of time. And Iran does seem to be the next card up their sleeves on that very front.
Well, absolutely. Like I was saying, that there are very many countries that are on the list of President Trump, but Iran and the protests that are happening, the way the deep state works in the United States of America, first ensure that there is civil unrest, that the people start questioning the regime, are unhappy with the regime, and once you weaken the entire system, then you go in questioning human rights, which is what the second phase of any regime change playbook of the U.S. is, and they've done that. And now with growing unrest, if there's any action that the regime takes against the people, then they will have reasons saying, we warned you, and would go in. So that's the regime change playbook. We've done an entire detailed analysis of it on India Today Global, but that's the playbook that America has used many a times, whether it's Iraq, whether it's Libya, whether it's Syria, very, very recently. That is certainly how they look at things. And this time around also, should there be action, which anyway would be unfair, but should there be action, then yes, America will step in. And Iran seems like the next in line.
Absolutely, Geeta. So,
I'm sorry.
Yes, Geeta, if you can hear me, my next question to you would be with regards to how is the situation being handled within Iran? Because we've been looking at visuals coming in of the protests. There have been intense clashes with the police as well within the country, especially in Tehran. We see cops being attacked, some even being killed. If you could just give us a little bit of context as to how things are being handled on the ground and how the situation is escalating with each passing day.
Well, the time and the way things come out now, unlike in the past when things would never come out, we'd never know what's happening, has completely changed. And therefore, they are acting with a lot of restraint. But yes, there still have been cases of activists being picked up, being detained. There are cases of clashes where civilians have been killed, about 36 and counting. Civilians dead in Iran. So there have been instances, there have been severe cases as well. But it would have been far more serious in the past. Right now, we're looking at a regime that's acting with great restraint, given the kind of protests that we're seeing across Iran, not just confined to Tehran. Just goes to show that it is becoming rather difficult. Now, we do know that the 2022 Mahsa Amini case and the protests that followed, there was a massive clampdown on that. But this is unlike that. Over here, you're seeing a lot of people who are not wearing the hijab because I suppose the regime thinks that's not their fight right now. Their fight is to ensure that there is calm and there's peace. But there has been inflation. There is a huge economic crisis. The question is whether if countries, their ally partners like Russia and China, will they come to Iran's rescue to ensure that this economic crisis is ironed out? Because if that happens, then there would be no reason, or primarily no reason, no economic reason for people to come to the streets. So one again has to look at whether if Iran will be rescued by its allies, because if they do not, then they should fear for what will happen to them in the future, whether it's Russia or China.
Right, Geeta. Geeta, do stay with us. We have this particular parallel that we've drawn with 1979. We're going to explain to you how are we drawing the parallel with the Iranian Revolution back in 1979. It's a redux. Whether it's a redux or not, that's what we are to establish here with this particular graphics. Tehran's Grand Bazaar, remember, was the key center of the 1979 revolution itself. The same bazaar that we were just showing you in visuals a little while back. Now, the Grand Bazaar, remember, is the heart of Iran's economy and politics. Anything that happens which affects the very country economically or politically speaking, it's this very bazaar where we see the fallout start from, trigger from. The bazaar has helped the regime survive economic shocks over the years. And the Grand Bazaar now is again the center of the anti-regime stir, visuals of which we were just bringing to you, back from 1979 to 2020, end of 2025 and now beginning of 2026. The protest sparked by Iran's ailing economy is the heart of the entire disruption in the country that we're looking at this given point of time. The Grand Bazaar merchants are a part of the protest. In fact, if anything, they're the very heart of this very protest at this given point of time. And the economic failure has turned the bazaar's traders against this very regime as well. And what happens next is what all our eyes are set on. The very protests that began from the Grand Bazaar yet again, one that had begun in 1979, one that had the revolution play out later. And now, in 2026, we see this yet again taking place.